Alright guys, Xyphoe here, and today is a very special day for me and a very special video because today marks 10 years of me being on YouTube. And well, 10 years to the day of the very first video going live on my channel, which was a long play of Robocop 2 on the Amstrad GX4000 console. And more on that in a minute. I'll come back to that. But first of all, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who, well, subscribed, commented, left me nice comments and messages, liked videos, shared videos, been part of videos, helped me out with stuff, been there to support me or give me advice. Whoever you are, just want to say a big thank you to you. Can't believe I'm here like a decade later. You know, I haven't written a sort of script for this. I haven't written any even notes and bullet points of what I want to talk about here. I thought I'd just do it straight off the cuff. I thought it was better coming from the heart, and I think you guys probably appreciate that. So yeah, why did I think one thing I did have in my mind, I wanted to say, why did I start making YouTube videos? I think there's probably a few reasons for that. Firstly, I think the primary reason was, well, I love the Amstrad, and I was scouring YouTube 10 years ago looking for Amstrad videos and stuff like that, and really there was only one guy really doing sort of good Amstrad videos, and they were just long play videos. It was a guy called Alllllright, and man, you can still find his videos on YouTube. He did long plays of all the big Amstrad CPC games at the time. But for me, it was I had this weird obsession with the GX4000 console. I can't explain it. I don't know why. Perhaps because I'm obsessed with Amstrad, so there's this quirky little console and machine, and I was collecting all the carts as well. I was on a mission to get all the carts, and I was like, where's the GX4000 videos? Where are they? And so I decided to make a website called gx4000.co.uk. It still looks pretty much the same as it did 10 years ago, but it's up there and it's quite a good resource. And with that, I decided, well, what can I do to help promote the website as well? So I decided to do a video for YouTube, but I was always going to do that anyway aside from the website. Those two kind of fed into each other. So one, I wanted to have a I think the GX4000 deserved its own website and little resource. It wasn't going to take me much work to do because there was only 25-ish games out there for it, and I just saw a niche in the market that you know, why isn't there more GX4000 videos on YouTube? Why isn't there more Amstrad videos? And I decided to do one, and I'm very glad I did. The other reason behind it is, well, I'll come back to that. I've always had this thing, guys, of not necessarily from a business point of view, but spotting a hole in the market, or at least a hole in what is fulfilling my interests. You know, if there's something something I'm interested in and it doesn't exist, maybe I will try and fill that void and hole or whatever, or create it. So this goes back years, because I've been a musician, and well, I still am technically. So when I started doing bands, I was like, why don't I hear more music like this? And I was like, right, I'm gonna write songs like this to please me, and I'm gonna form a band, and we're gonna get those songs out there. So you know, I think that was kind of a mix of sort of Iron Maiden-y metal mixed with Devin Townsend, if you guys have heard of him. It was a weird combination, and it was that's my favourite thing at the time. I wanted to mash. Anyway, I'm rambling. That wasn't just like with musicians, it didn't really sort of take off really. Just like where I live, musicians seem to be in short supply, at least good and reliable musicians anyway. So years later, well, during that period as well, I used to love going out and sort of going to rock clubs and stuff like that. And there was a place I used to go, and I used to love it. Every Saturday night, I'd be down there, dressed to the nines, dancing and all this kind of stuff. And I don't want to give away too many details, I think, because that's part of my life. Perhaps I keep a bit separate. But there was like, let's just say it's in the rock genre, and this particular rock genre was not being fulfilled very well, or at least eventually it stopped being fulfilled. This wonderful club night I used to go to on a Saturday night that I used to love and dance all night long, and you know, gelt birds and drink and have a laugh and all that kind of stuff. It just petered out, and the music got very, very stale. It was the same songs by the same bands. You could literally set your watch by what he would play and when. So eventually it was really, really dying out. I was like, I'm not hearing the stuff I used to hear here, or every now and again some slightly different stuff. Why isn't this DJ doing it? And so eventually I heard of a new, like, tiny little rock club opening up in my town and city, and I went and just knocked on the door and spoke to the manager, who was like basically just like building it and setting it all up and stuff, and said, hey, I'm a DJ. I had nothing, just like a box of CDs. I'm a DJ, and I've got this idea for a club night. I want to do this. It's a very niche club night, but I reckon I can pull the, you know, get enough people interested, because there was hundreds going to this club night that don't go to it anymore, and so forth. And so I started that night, and it was like a relatively small success, and it just built and built and built and built, and over, oh God, I think 15 years I'm still doing it, and it's still going strong. So that's my side job, apart from my full-time job and my other job here on probably YouTube or whatever. I DJ. And so I just do this one club night, and it's been a roaring success. And you know, I've taken it to other places and played to like many thousands of people at festivals, and you know, every month it's still going really, really strong. And that's me just like saying, like, it wasn't like more a mercenary or business decision. It was like, my needs are not being fulfilled, my friends' needs are not being fulfilled, and the fans' needs are not being fulfilled. I want to do something about it. Let's just do it, you know. And lo and behold, much to my surprise, like 15-16 years later, it's still happening every month, and I love it. So there you go, that's a little insight of something else I do outside of YouTube. But it moves into the point of what I'm trying to make of, like, with YouTube, it was me sort of saying, there's like this, I'm not being fulfilled on YouTube, let's do something about it, let's make something, let's try and be positive. And that attitude of doing something, just stepping out there and pushing myself into doing something like that, it also feeds into another thing. And just talking a little bit about, this is very personal, I'm talking a little bit here and now about mental health. Now, I don't suffer from depression or anything like that, and I don't want to cheapen anyone who does suffer from it. And believe me, guys, I've got a lot of close people that suffer from it, and I'm very well sort of versed in it and experienced. But one thing I do suffer from, guys, and it's sort of, I've come to realise this over the years, is that I suffer from like anxiety and panic, and it's this horrible feeling of like dread all over you, and I can't settle, and especially if something bad is happening, and you know, eventually I can calm myself down, take a deep breath, think about it very logically, because I'm a very logical thinker, very scientific, so I can break things down, and then it's like, right, I know what I'm doing, I've got a plan. But to help, I think subconsciously, all those times I've done bands, DJing, and coming to YouTube and stuff like that is me putting myself out there to try and kick anxiety in its ass, and just, you know, self-improvement, putting myself out there into like unknown, scary territory. And you know, YouTube was like Wild West back then. You know, sort of anything goes. And to be honest, it's probably got a lot more toxic over time. But which, you know, so I kind of started slow. Started doing like videos of just like a long play. Eventually, I got around to doing a long play and commentary, which I called a long play and review. And then it was me talking on the microphone. And my God, guys, you know, that was scary. That was like, oh, my anxiety levels were like, oh my God, what are people going to say about it? You know, and what they're going to think of me, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And eventually I just went, who cares? Chuck it out there. After divvying around for like months and worrying about it and obsessing almost, and just like, you know, eventually just kick yourself in the ass. Just put it out there. If people don't like it, who gives a damn? You can always delete it, you can always stop doing them, but at least you tried. At least you tried. So you will see like my first video, I think it was like the top 20 Amstrad games, where it's like me first talking on the microphone. I am so nervous there, and my voice is like, hi, welcome to the top 20 Amstrad games, I hope you like it. And you know, it's just like terrible, really. It's so cringy going back to have a listen to it, but it's there. I kept plugging away, and I think really took a few years before I found my voice a little bit better. And I think I'm still finding it, because the next step on was like maybe a year and a half ago when I first started live streaming. My God, like, you watch the first live stream and I'm so nervous. It was like I start the live stream and it's silence, and I'm looking nervously around. I'm clicking things on my mouse and tapping things on my keyboard, and it's like, is anyone watching? You know, now you tune into an am stream, you get me going, hey guys, welcome to the am stream, and all that kind of stuff. And I've relaxed and grown into it, and I think I still am. And you know, I'm just, it sort of reminds me of like when I joined in the group like chat podcast thingy for like retroandlim.com, where there was people like Kim Justice, DJ Slopes, Larry Bundy Jr. was in it, Top Hat Gaming Man, and a few other people. And my anxiety levels there was like through the roof. This is a new thing and it's scary, and my anxiety levels were through the roof, and I almost didn't want to do it because I knew I'd be sort of scared about it. But I was like, screw it, just do it. And you know what, yeah, I was pretty quiet on it. I just sort of chipped in a few bits and bobs in the space of like a few hours, you know, but I did it, you know. And next time I'll be more confident, and next time I'll be more confident after that. So after a long ramble, yeah, so starting YouTube was one, fulfilling a personal like need for me, and also fulfilling what I thought other people were missing out on. I was like, no one else is going to do it, I'll do it. You know. And secondly, it was kind of a, let's kind of kick my anxiety stuff in the arse and just get out there and do it. So if I can give anyone any message today who's like thinking about YouTube and stuff like that, and I'm not like a successful YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination, like I've still only got like just over 3,000 subs. To some people that's like, wow, that's a lot of subs. To others it's like diddly squat. But I have an awesome, wicked, lovely community that pop in on the videos, and especially the live streams and stuff, and that means the most to me. You get good numbers of people coming in, it's growing, and you know, expanding. Long may that continue. So, you know, it doesn't always matter about the number of subscribers you have, or maybe even the number of views on your videos, or thumbs up and thumbs down, or whatever. You know, are you growing and, you know, keep making people happy? And that's kind of my, I suppose, my mission in life after long deliberations over many years. It's like, what is it I want to try and achieve in my life if I can't become like the things I dreamed of being as a kid, like you know, a guitarist and like a this massively successful rock band, or I've always wanted to be a film director. That was my other dream job, and you know, I didn't get to do that. I haven't achieved that. But so what do I want to achieve? First of all, making me happy that's important, but making other people happy too, to bring in a bit of happiness, joy, and fun into people's life, a bit of distraction from the real world, because let's face it, it is crap out there, you know. And so you won't find me talking about politics and stuff on streams, and well, very, very rarely, or at least try to sort of nip it in the bud, because we're here to talk about fun computer games and all that kind of stuff, just to take us all away from the crap of the real world, whether it's like, you know, bad home life, bad job, money troubles, and health issues, or whatever, you know. So I do it. So my message, we're getting around to it. So my message to people, like, think of doing a YouTube channel, just or whatever it is. If it's YouTube, if you want to do that, you want to stream on Twitch, or you want to become a musician, or you want to become a DJ, or whatever it is, and you're kind of like holding yourself back and worrying about it, and like, you know, just get out and do it. Just start. Even if the start is bad, it will get better if you enjoy what you're doing. Keep at it and think about how you can improve yourself, but just keep at it. Just got to get that foot in the door. Just start it. So there's my message to anyone else. It sounds a bit overblown and dramatic and pompous or whatever, I don't know. I'm just like on a YouTuber with like just over 3,000 subs giving this big speech and lecture. I don't know. I'm just talking from wherever it comes from, my heart or whatever, and rambling on. So there we go. Yeah, so I just want to again thank you to all my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, but just still pop on the videos and comment, watch them, like them, whatever. Especially thank you to my Patreons. Wow, I can't believe, honestly, I still kick myself every other day, and it's like I've got people who are Patreons. That's mad, you know. But thank you, because it allows me to carry on doing it. Because I think you guys know, I've talked about this over time, my personal time is a lot more limited these days. So, and you know, with like home life and stuff, you know, I've now got 2 kids in my life. Mrs. I, who's very, very supportive. Bless her. Thank you. Lots of love to Mrs. I, of course, as well. I've got a baby as well. You know, we just bought our first house and all that, and time is just. But your generosity and stuff like that, Patreons or donations or whatever, and sharing videos and getting them views and all that kind of stuff, means I can continue on doing it. Because so I'd mentioned I did club night DJing, but I was taking other odd DJing jobs, especially on a Friday and the other Saturdays and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't do both. I can't do all these other DJing jobs to make money, because my time to do that was being taken up by making videos or streaming or whatever. But you guys have made that possible, so I could say bye-bye to like crappy extra DJ work in doing stuff that perhaps I didn't really enjoy, but you know, I had to make some money and provide for family and stuff like that, because a full-time job doesn't cover it. And I work a full-time night shift, and it's still like, yikes, your bills and all that kind of stuff. But hey, that's the same for everyone. But I just wanted to say thank you to anyone who's become a Patreon and donated and all that kind of stuff, especially because that's like, wow. But that has allowed me to continue on making videos and like doing especially the live streams. So I could turn down DJing jobs on a Friday and do live streams instead for you guys. So there we go. So I think I've rambled on enough, so I thought I'd do something a little bit maybe a little bit fun, just to end things on for you guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about, well, I'm going to give you guys my as a little bonus treat, my top 5 favourite games of all time. So I stress favourite, because there are other games I really enjoy that are technically better games, but I'm purely talking from my personal experience enjoyment, and even nostalgia. That plays a big part in this, apart from maybe the first game I'm going to talk about. Initially I was going to give you guys like a top 10, but I found that very difficult, strangely. But it seemed to be much easier to do a top 5. They just seem to be a lot clearer to me without too much sort of thought and effort. So without further ado, let's start with my game in 5th place. So at number 5, oh god, is I'm going to put H1Z1 there. So it's probably with a little sigh from a few of you out there that I've chosen this one, and also that it's a fairly current modern game, because you know I'm 90% kind of like an Amstrad YouTube channel, but you know, you guys have seen me streaming it, and you know I play a lot of it in my very little free time when I can. But I fell in love with the Battle Royale genre, and especially H1Z1 King of the Kill, as it was known then. It's soon to be renamed as Z1 Battle Royale. Anyway, that was nearly 3 years ago, and it was the first real standalone Battle Royale game in the genre. And to me, it balances well and walks a very difficult line between, on one hand, fast, fun, arcadey, you know, not taking itself too seriously, and then on the other hand, like serious, like gunplay, like pixel perfect accuracy, like 2 bullets to kill someone, and it's like. So some battle royale games take themselves too seriously, PUBG. Other battle royale games like just go way into like cartoon land, Fortnite. Yeah, there's been no other game I've invested so many hours into, and I'm still having fun with it today, especially playing with like good friends and having a laugh, mucking about, whatever. Made some good friends through the game, of course, as well, and it has actually helped me, you know, get my streams out there as well, get a bit more notice. The game itself, again, is extremely tough and challenging, but that's what makes it so rewarding when you actually win. I mean, there is no other better feeling in any modern game, and especially any other battle royale. Yes, I'm looking at you, Fortnite and PUBG, etc. When you actually win the match, being like the last person alive, the adrenaline rush and excitement, and the achievement in doing that, especially, it's, man, people are so good at that game. I mean, nothing, and I mean nothing comes close to that feeling, period, in my opinion anyway. But there we go. We're gonna on to the top 4 now, and it's, don't worry guys, it's retro games. But at number 4, this might be a bit of a shock and a surprising choice to you guys, maybe, I don't know. At number 4 is Tecmo World Cup 90. It's an arcade coin-op soccer game. I prefer to call it football game, and it was just so beautifully simple and fun. I had a great atmosphere around the game, how it was presented, the noises and sounds. It was like short and fast. I can't explain it. You guys just need to play it. It's ever so fluid and ever so clever how it works. I don't think a coin-op soccer game has ever hit that balance so perfectly. Apart from maybe like a home computer game like Sensible Soccer or something like that. But World Cup 90 is a lot more simpler than that, and I think its beauty is in its simplicity, and also it's actually not hard to actually beat, and certainly with a bit of practice, and there's the joy. It's quite easy to score goals once you work it out, and that gives you great satisfaction. But to me, it was kind of as well, the nostalgia factor as well plays a big part, because when this game came out, it was around about the time of the Italia 90 World Cup, and I just remember how old would I have been? I was probably like 9 years old or something like that. I remember the excitement at the time of the World Cup, and I don't think any World Cup since has come close to Italia 90 in terms of excitement around England and like potential, like, you know, we could maybe go on and win this. Gary Lineker and Gaza and all that kind of stuff, and this game came out right in the middle of it. At least that's when I experienced it. It was such a big game at the time, It's been completely forgotten about, but it was such a big game at the time that even I remember my dad was like, he never touched games, never had any real interest in my computer or anything like that, and perhaps when it was a bit silly and odd. I just remember him coming home one day and he'd been out with his workmates and they'd been to a pub and all that kind of stuff, and they had one that Tecmo World Cup 90 machine in there. And he came back raving about it. Says, "Oh, all my friends are playing on this arcade football game, and you know, Al, you'll really like this." And, you know, it's like, my dad's talking about a game and he's recommending it to me. It was that big at the time. It was literally everywhere. And every time we went to an arcade, or maybe as a pub lunch, or you know, we went to a hotel or B&B, whatever, we went on holiday and, you know, went to a self-catering flats, whatever, I'd go straight to the games room and see, and just pray and hope that World Cup 90 was there, and it was generally always there. Like, you know, everywhere I went, please be World Cup 90, and there it was. And it just captured that fever at the time very, very well. But aside from that, it's a great fun game, and I have such good memories of it, and I'm very good at it as well. Can complete it with like probably one hand behind my back and eyes closed and all that kind of stuff. But there we go. Enjoy that one if you can, guys. So on to number 3, third place. Oh, this very nearly got number 2, but the third place is Chase HQ, and that's both on the arcade growing up and the Amstrad, but especially the Amstrad. There's something about Chase HQ, guys. I think we all know it. I think most of us love that game, and there's just something about it. I think it's just the 80s-ness, I think, first and foremost. Oh, I got that Porsche 928. Oh, I love the Porsche 928. I've always wanted one. One of my friends got one once, and I was so jealous. But I've always wanted that Porsche 928. You know, you got the buddy cops in the car, typical buddy cop formula, like Lethal Weapon or whatever. And you know, it had the thrill of Outrun. You know, just pelting down the road and burning around corners and overtaking cars and checkpoints and sort of hills and dips and tunnels and all that kind of stuff. But then, you know, you were chasing a criminal and you had to catch up to them. So it was like it took Outrun and just ramped it up to like the next level. And then like the second half of the game was like smashing a truck off the road of your like really, really expensive like Porsche 928, and you're just ramming them off the road. And that excitement and that adrenaline, and also that panic, because you see that clock's ticking down at the top there. The damage level on the opponent's car is not there yet, it's slowly creeping up, but the time's creeping down. Do you use a turbo now, because you only get 3 turbos? Do you use the turbo to catch up to them, or do you risk saving those 3 turbos for ramming the criminals off the road? Do you use that turbo early or late? And then you get like Nancy on the radio telling you that like your time's running out and you suck, hurry up. And it's like your heart's like, yeah, come on, beat in there. And it's like, again, like for me, like with H1Z1 when you win a match, with Chase HQ when you actually smash those criminals off the road and you beat the level, it's like there's that feeling, there's nothing like it. Or at least one of a few games that really like kind of make you feel like you've achieved something like that and had that adrenaline rush with it. So yeah, I loved it in the arcade. I didn't get to play it much in the arcade. Certainly it was a cab I'd always like look for and try and go and play, but I think it was always one of those games that was like kind of really popular and took a while to queue up for me. But when I got it on the Amstrad, I was like, whoa, oh my god, what am I looking at here? This looks gorgeous, and it plays like the arcade. I mean, it's not like the physics and speed is nowhere near the same, but it's like, my god, look at the colourful graphics and like how smooth it plays, and the speed's decent, and it's presented like, you know, you've got Nancy on the radio, you've got sampled speech, you know, and it's got everything the arcade game had. You know, you chases the criminals, there they are, and sirens go off, and the arrow points in the car going smash here, and all that kind of stuff. And you're ramming them off the road, and it's got the 5 stages just like in the arcade. And I was like, my god, they managed it. They managed it on the Amstrad. Wow. And if there was one game that I can come back to again and again on the Amstrad, it's Chase HQ, because it's definitely completable, but it's tough. And you know, sometimes I put the disc in, play it, and I don't beat it, and I'm like, damn it, like, come on, like, it's been like 20 odd years, you know, like, how am I still not beating it every time? But it's that good. You know, you can get to level 4, level 5, and just miss out, and like, you know, right, I'll come back to this in a few weeks and play it again. So I love it, absolutely love the whole feeling of it. So there you go, number 3 is Chase HQ. Okay, so on to number 2, second place game in my favourite games of all time. This might surprise some people. It's a game on the Game Boy, and it's Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Yes, 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 indeed. What a beautiful, magical game. There may be people that argue there are better Zelda games out there. I might disagree with them. I don't know. But maybe I'm tinged by nostalgia. I've never been so engrossed in an adventure game before, especially as a kid when I first played it, and I was just mesmerised by it. Its simplicity and beautiful graphics, story, structure. It was like a magical land. There was like all these sort of hidden secrets, and it was kind of logical how you would work out things, but it wasn't always that obvious. And it's a very thin line to walk between overly simple puzzles or overly difficult puzzles. You know, as a I don't know how old I would have been, 9, 10 again, when I first got my Game Boy, and I was able to eventually beat it. It took me a while, but wow, I mean, guys, the ending to the game is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and it's worth playing all the way through just for that ending. Wow, it sort of makes you like well up and tear up inside. It was quite an emotional ending, and I was like, I never experienced that with a game before. I think that's why I've sort of got it there. Nothing had made me feel like Link's Awakening had. It's hard to describe the feeling, and I could still play it today and go through it all again. Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful game. Plenty of action in it as well, of course. So you know, guys, as well, it's like I started with my Amstrad, of course, as you know, and I stuck with my Amstrad for many, many, many years, and I was still using my Amstrad into college, you know, well many years after its, like, you know, life apparently like expired and stuff. And it was actually my next machine really was a proper PC, like a proper Windows 95 PC. That's how long I used the Amstrad for. I still did all my A-level coursework on it as well. Yikes. Yeah, some of it anyway. I think I got my first PC in the second year of college. Anyway. But during that period, I never got a Master System or Mega Drive. I never got a NES or a SNES. What came in between that? N64s? Nope. Saturns, Dreamcast, all that? Nope. PlayStation? Nope. Missed out on all of that. Went from my Amstrad to PC. But in the middle of all that was a Nintendo Game Boy, and I love my Game Boy. And that was my only other sort of real retro computer. Well, it's now retro, and it was Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. What an amazing, amazing game! And that was the top one, and it nearly topped my list here at number 1, of course, as well. But there has to be a winner, and there has to be my favourite game of all time. And it was very nearly Legend of Zelda, but I'm gonna have to go with at number one is Star Wars, the Atari coin-op from 1983, I believe, 2 years after I was born. Wow, what can I say about this one? I think this is more special because I want to play Star Wars on a real cabinet, not on emulation, real hardware, because nothing in the arcades beat the experience of being in the sit-down cab with the surround sound, but most of all is how you play it, and it's with that special yoke control stick that, you know, it sort of tilts like that, and you do that. Nothing can emulate that control scheme on a PC or anything like that. I've tried. I think the closest I've come on a PC is probably with a really old flight stick that was very floaty and broken or whatever. That almost got the feeling of the control of the X-Wing, and still didn't come close. I think we played it on stream recently, and I used a mouse, and I had to tweak a huge amount of settings just to get anything, but it was impossible, pretty much impossible, and nothing has come close to it. You may have better luck actually with an Android tablet with tilt controls, but yikes, no, nothing comes close to playing it in the arcade. And what an experience it is. Those beautiful, beautiful vector graphics. It is stunning work done by Mike Haley, I think his name was, and Atari at the time. Really stunning vector graphics, especially as things swoop around the Death Star in the first like sort of section or whatever, and you dive into the Death Star trench run. Oh man, nothing captures the movie better than that game. Nothing. Or any movie. Period, in my opinion. And the voice, it had digitized speech, which was like kind of a new thing at the time and revolutionary. And, you know, use the Force, Luke, and, you know, Darth Vader would speak to you. I have him now, and all that kind of stuff. What an experience, man. My dream would be to own my own Atari Star Wars arcade cabinet, sit down cab. There's no room in my house, even if I'd like suddenly like made a huge chunk of money somewhere and I could afford to buy one if they exist anywhere. There'll be nowhere to put it, but man, every time I go to one of these play expos or play Blackpool or whatever, the first thing I do is go straight to that Atari Star Wars cabinet that they often have there, and I'll be on that for most of the day if people will let me, going for that high score. So I'd set myself a target of like beating 3 waves of difficulty to get that 1,000,000 point score and beat Obi-Wan at the top of the high score table. And the rush when I get close to that, and like, wow, nothing beats it. So if you want to find me at one of these expo retro conventions or whatever, look for the Star Wars arcade machine, and you'll probably find this guy on it or queuing up to play it or whatever. So there we go, guys. Again, nothing. Again, we've had two free games there, like from the arcades, Tecmo World Cup 90, Chase HQ Star Wars. We all have like people of a certain age, like me, have this. Just had these wonderful memories of like the arcades back in the day. The seasides and everywhere. What a magical experience that was, going to those arcades, and what a shame they died out. But you know, times change, things move on, and all that. But so a lot of that is tied to this. So my choices there kind of quite tied to nostalgia. But you know, certainly with Star Wars, like, you can not properly experience it on emulation. And I'm not a real hardware bore going, oh, you're not playing it on real hardware and all that kind of stuff. But you know, I use emulation for most of my videos and streams and stuff like that. But in the case of Star Wars, it's got to be real hardware, guys, and that's what makes it special. If I come across it at a convention or whatever, I'm like, oh my god, it's here, I'm going to play it. There we go. So guys, there we go. I've spent a long time rambling on here. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you very, very much for your support and, you know, everything. I'm not going to name individuals. You know who you are, and I'm sure you know you are appreciated by me. So guys, thank you very much, and here's to another 10 years maybe. Who knows? Right. Cheerio, thank you, Xyphoe out, and all that kind of stuff. Bye bye!